It's a couple of weeks' time for Liverpool against Manchester United. And do you know, it felt the story this week was all about Manchester United winning back-to-back games, which they hadn't done since the back end of the 2023-24 season. And it felt like Amorim himself was talking up the fact they really need to go and win back-to-back games and putting pressure on the team. And then they go to Brentford and find themselves on the wrong end of another defeat. And you're wondering which way this story goes next. 33 games in charge now for Rúben Amorim at Manchester United. He's taken 34 points from those matches, 17 defeats, and a win ratio of just 27%. How does this play out, Andy?
For me, I think it's difficult to see it changing. They don't seem to have any kind of flexibility. I think he's made it really clear that they're not going to change formation.
But he keeps saying he needs time.
Yeah, but how long? You know, there's at some point. You know, I do believe in giving managers and coaches time, but I also believe that there has to be. You have to be seen to, or you have to be able to see the improvements. You have to be able to see, I can see where they're going with this. And I don't really see that with Man United. I'm seeing the same things this season that I've seen last season. I don't really see enough athleticism, particularly in the middle of the pitch. So to play the way that he wants them to play, you need to have really, really athletic midfielders. They don't seem to have that. And for me, the biggest thing about Man United is that there's no real fear factor about playing against them anymore. You know, Brentford, we played against Man United teams where, you know, you go to Old Trafford or even they're coming to you and you think, this is going to be a hell of a game today. It's not really that feeling. Teams are going into these games now thinking, we can beat these. And that's a big, big problem as well.
Yeah, I think, you know, they use the same shape as Crystal Palace, 5-2-3, and I just don't see them being a dominant force.
So what's the difference?
In that
Explain
shape.
to us what's the difference.
Well, Crystal Palace, the game is built on being solid and transitioning, and I don't see that being acceptable at Manchester United. I don't see you being able to be a Manchester United team that sits behind the ball and just transitions. You know, you need to go and dominate the game, and you need to take the ball. I don't think you see many top sides around Europe playing with a back five. Don't think you see many at all. So I'm still really interested to see how he does with it, because, you know, he's still obviously a work in progress. They've added a lot of players in the summer, but as Andy rightly says, there hasn't been real signs of improvement, and it looks tough for Amorim at the minute. You know, you see him having to do his press, and it looks like a real tough grind for him at this moment, which is not nice to see someone go through. And I hope he manages to turn it around, because I know he'll be giving every moment of every day to try and turn it around. And I hope they do, but it's going to need a big change for me. It's going to need something. They're going to need to put an unbelievable run of results together to start to convince people that this can turn into the Man United that we're used to seeing.
Well, it's Sunderland next before the international break. Do managers sort of feel a bit more stress about these games going into an international break, especially if you're on a difficult run?
Yeah, I suppose it is a natural time for clubs to look to make changes. I love to see managers given time. As you know, I'm biased. I'm a manager, so I want them to all be given time and to be given the opportunity to show how good they are. But international breaks do tend to see more changes. And let's make no bones about it. Sunderland at home, newly promoted side, when you're Manchester United, with the run they're on, is going to be a must-win for them. It's a big, big game.
Sunderland might be thinking the same thing, though, might they?
Sunderland be looking forward to going there, you know. But
genuinely,
yeah, but why not? You know, why not? They've got off to a great start. They've just got a first win this evening, away from home. They'll be relishing the chance to go there, and all the pressure is on Man United. Sunderland sat in a really nice position, really healthy position. They go there, the crowd will be a bit anxious, waiting on the team to kind of give them something. Sunderland can just go there and do what they've done tonight, sit in, make it really, really difficult, and hope that they can get something again. So I think they'll be looking forward to the game.
Manchester United's all-time leading goal scorer, Wayne Rooney, has launched a withering attack on the club in the wake of their latest defeat. He says the soul has gone from the club and he has no longer any faith in Rúben Amorim to turn it around. The pressure on Amorim has increased following the 3-1 loss at Brentford, their third defeat in the opening 6 Premier League games of the season. Incredibly, United are yet to win consecutive league games since Amorim was appointed almost a year ago. Speaking on his BBC podcast, he said, "It's just not good enough. From the manager, from the coaches, from the players, what is going on at Manchester United? I don't recognise the whole football club. I don't see players fighting. I don't see character. I don't see the desire to win. I don't see ability. I don't see match winners. I go to a game expecting us to lose or maybe pick up a point. There are players that don't deserve to wear that shirt. This is not acceptable, what is going on. I'm not seeing anything which is giving me any confidence. There needs to be big changes. Manager, players, whatever that is. Whatever it takes to get Manchester United back. There has to be a message of where this club is going. At the minute, we're all sitting there waiting for it to crumble. The culture of that football club has gone. I see it on a daily basis. I see staff losing jobs, people walking out of jobs. I've got 2 kids at that football club. I really hope this doesn't affect what they're doing. What I'm seeing at that football club is not Manchester United. I honestly hope he can turn it around, and he does. But after everything I've seen, honestly, I've got no faith in it. Wayne Rooney, not the only former United captain to speak out this weekend.
OK, Manchester United, it was another grim day yesterday at Brentford. There's no escaping that. It feels like we're just on a loop, asking the same question week after week. So there you are, the floor's yours. Where are you at with it all?
I'm very, very worried. Very, very worried. Felt yesterday for the first time, just through instinct, watching it on the television, seeing players' faces, seeing players' body language. I am very, very concerned, I really am. Because the manager's obviously a good coach, he's had a great record in Portugal, but it's not clicking at all. It's not clicking. And the thing is for me, when I said just before, maybe I didn't finish what I was going to say, but it looked to me like the players and the idea are not connecting at all. You could just see their body language in their faces. And yeah, yeah, a problem. It's a big problem.
So what next?
I think when it gets to this point, you've got to see what happens next Saturday against Sunderland. I think you've got a game at home against Sunderland, and Sunderland, as we know, are obviously in decent form. But if that game goes against Manchester United, you're going to start seeing very, very, very big questions being asked of the ownership. Big questions. They've brought a young manager in. He's played a completely different system. They've invested in a completely different system. They brought Dorgu in and they brought other players. And if they were to be 14th, 15th, 16th in October, which was where I said at the start of the season, if Manchester United are where they were last season in October, it's not a one-off. It becomes what you are. And it becomes a pattern. And then managers come under huge pressure. We've seen what's happened with Graham Potter in the last few days. So, look, that's why I'm worried. That's why I'm worried, because this is not going to go away and it's going to build in this next week or so. And I think that a victory is needed more than ever at Old Trafford on Saturday against Sunderland.
Yeah, tough times for Manchester United, and they have been for quite a while now.